What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video here at HoopsHype.com. The NBA trade market saw another transaction go down this week when the Phoenix Suns agreed to deal veteran swingman Josh Okogie to the Charlotte Hornets in exchange for big man Nick Richards, with the hopes that Nick Richards is going to fortify their interior presence that they've been lacking and eventually become the team's starting center. Also included in the deal were 4 second-round picks in total, with 3 going from Phoenix to Charlotte and 1 going back the other way. Today, we break down the 5 other players who have been mentioned most often in trade rumors over the past week, as judged by appearances on our trade rumors page on HoopsHype.com. Find out who else might be traded next in today's video. Hit that like and subscribe button, and let me hear your thoughts down below in the comments section. 5. Jusuf Nurkic, now with the addition of Nick Richards, has made the veteran center expendable, and he was already on the chopping block before that had even happened, as he was benched and even received back-to-back did not plays coach's decisions last week, even more expendable than before. Still, the team has yet to find a trade for him. Our own Michael Scotto here at HoopsHype reported this week that Phoenix was interested in making Nurkic part of the Richards-Okogie swap with the hopes of getting forward Cody Martin back in the deal. Phoenix was looking to include center Jusuf Nurkic and also turn this into a 4-player deal instead of it just being a straight-up swap. However, from what we had learned, Nurkic discussed the trade rumors a week ago and made it clear that he's handling the scuttle well and behaving like a total pro. The quote went, "We talked as far as communication-wise between team owner, general manager James Jones, and CEO Josh Bartelstein. They were completely transparent that they're not looking to shop us or whatever, but also we're not kids. We understand that this is part of the job. There's nothing you can do, at least in my situation. I don't control those things, but understand these happens almost every day, every year, especially this time of season." And Nurkic has struggled this season, averaging just 8.7 points, 9.2 rebounds on 45% shooting from the field. He's owed $18.1 million this season and is fully guaranteed $19.3 million next year. So moving his contract might prove tricky for the Suns. So we'll just have to see. 4. Jericho Sims. The New York Post came out with a report this week stating that the New York Knicks are shopping expiring contract of Jericho Sims. However, how hard New York shops Sims depends on whether or not fellow big man Mitchell Robinson can return before the February 6th trade deadline. The same report from Stefan Bondy said that Robinson is yet to start sprinting in his rehab process. According to Bondy, the Knicks are asking for a second-round pick in exchange for Jericho Sims. The 26-year-old is averaging 2 points and 4 rebounds and will be an unrestricted free agent this summer. So let me hear if you guys think that will be someone you could see being on the move. Coming in at 3, although he might be out at the moment with an ankle sprain, the Brooklyn Nets sharpshooter forward Cam Johnson is garnering a lot of attention on the trade market. According to the New York Times, The Athletic, the Cavaliers have serious interest in the talented shooter. Now, Mark Stein put out a report that those talks were just preliminary and didn't go anything past that. However, I think you need to understand the Cavs' interest to be more serious than that is what rival team officials are saying. What's more is ESPN said this week that according to league executives, Johnson is the likeliest player to be traded before February 6th trade deadline, while cautioning that acquiring him won't come cheap. Bleacher Report likewise reported this week that it's likely Johnson will be traded in the next couple weeks. Meanwhile, Jake Fisher reported that the Sacramento Kings and the Indiana Pacers are the 2 leading suitors in a potential Cam Johnson trade. Cam Johnson is averaging a near career high 19.6 points. This is also while he's shooting 43% almost from 3. He's got 2 years left on his deal for a combined $43 million, which is a team-friendly price considering at least 27 players will be earning $40 million plus in 25-26 season alone. Number 2 is a 32-year-old averaging almost 12 points, 8 rebounds on 56% shooting from the field. He's on a contract that pays him $33 million total through 26-27 on about a $9.9 million annual this year, and then it basically is kind of increasing every year after that. And the Wizards are 6-33. They're not competing for a playoff spot for at least the next couple seasons, and all that makes Valanciunas a very likely trade candidate. According to our very own Michael Scotto, the center-needy Golden State Warriors have explored the trade market on various big men, with one of them being Jonas Valanciunas. Another team that could have an interest in Valanciunas is New York, depending on Mitchell Robinson's health. According to The Athletic, the Wizards could get up to 2 second-round picks for the Lithuanian center. Valanciunas recently discussed how he's handling the trade rumors. Valanciunas knows trade rumors will swirl over the next several weeks. How has he dealt with it? quote, shut my phone off, end quote. He joked before he got serious. Talk with my people, not outside people I know. To be honest, it's part of the deal. You see what's out there, you expect everything, and you just do your job. That doesn't change whatever happens. If it will happen, I just come in every day, work, every game I play 100%. That's all I can do. That's all I do. It's above me. I have no control in that, end quote. Let me hear your thoughts. Where you think Jonas Valanciunas will end up? Coming in at number 1 on our rumors page this past week is Jimmy Butler. The latest news on Jimmy Butler trade front came on Friday night when the star swingman returned to action for the Miami Heat after a 7-game suspension, scoring 18 points in 33 minutes of action, albeit a 20-point defeat at the hands of the Denver Nuggets. Apart from that, things remain the same, as the latest reporting on the matter indicate that the Miami Heat want to trade Butler, but won't do so just to appease him if the trade return isn't up to par via the Miami Herald. While the Heat prefer to get a deal done sooner rather than later, because Butler's wish to be traded has become clear, league sources have emphasized that the Heat won't act out of desperation and will only accept an offer it feels helps the team now and moving forward. In any Butler trade, the Heat want to acquire a quality player or players who can help the team this season. That will be the top of priority for the Miami Heat. But the Heat also don't want to take back long-term salary. That's going to clog up its salary cap for the 26 offseason unless it's for a top-end all-star borderline all-NBA talent. Draft capital is also critical for the Heat, as it currently only has one unprotected first-round pick that it can deal away. Butler also declined to comment when asked if the situation with the Heat was fixable, and also said that eventually, quote, the truth would come out. Another recent report on the Butler front said that the Toronto Raptors would be willing to help facilitate a Butler trade via the Toronto Star. The Raptors aren't driving the Jimmy Butler sweepstakes that is consuming NBA fans who live and die on the speculation that is about to engulf the league ahead of the trade deadline, but they'd sure like to have a say on how it all ends. Talking to a handful of people around the league, the Toronto Star says that it's obviously that the Toronto Raptors hope to insinuate themselves into the conversation. To get what? The Raptors don't want to get much longer term money in a trade, but if they had to take on one amount next season while adding draft capital as compensation, they most assuredly would. It's the process they are pursuing right now, and it's likely the only way there'll be players on the market before February 6th trade deadline. There are no names being kicked around, but there are definitely concepts being discussed. According to The Athletic, Butler has not ruled out playing for the Milwaukee Bucks, pushing back on a previous report that Butler didn't want to play in Milwaukee. While it remains unclear which teams are truly willing to get into the Butler business, 2 league sources insist the Milwaukee Bucks have not, contrary to reports, been told by Butler's camp that he doesn't want to play there. Another report earlier in the week from Chris Haynes said Miami has considered changing the designation on Butler's suspension, which would have cost the star wing even more money. The Miami Heat are considering changing Jimmy Butler's suspension designation from conduct detrimental to team to refusal to provide services, NBA insider Chris Haynes reported. However, such a change will double the fine tally for the player. The designation remains the same, but it is also fluid, Haynes noted. Finally, ESPN dropped that bombshell article we mentioned in the beginning on Friday morning, explaining how the feud between Butler and the Heat could be on the verge of getting explosive. There's a whole lot on that Jimmy Butler trade front coming out pretty much daily at this point. So if you guys want to read up on it more, go hit that link in the description down below and let me hear your guys' thoughts. What do you guys expect from this year's NBA trade deadline? And go keep reading HoopsHype.com and subscribe for more videos like this.